Good morning. Here we are on a kind of a windy day, but it's still moderate, in the middle 40s here. And today we're going to fix the snowplow mount. That one of the spring recoil bolts came out, one of the pins, and we're going to fix that here. So let me show you the tractor here. This is the John Deere 624K. It's a front loader, and it is actually a high lift. And I don't remember the stats right now, how many pounds it is, but you can see hi kitty. Here's the snowplow mount that I got from Wyoming, and one of these pins here actually came off and vibrated out. And here's the adapter, if you haven't seen this, that we had to weld up. A good friend of mine welded this up onto the quick attach. And this mount actually works very well, and it's very heavy duty, as you can see, onto the tractor here. So let me get you set up here and show you the problem. Hi kitty. These are the recoils, so that when the blade, you see these hinge points here, is on the mount, and you can see how heavy duty this mount is. This is actually made for a very heavy duty truck, and when snowplow, and when you're moving along and you hit a rock or concrete or that type of thing, this blade actually flops forward. And so these here are set where you can set the preset on the spring, and it'll actually pull this together. Okay, so it'll pull the spring together and flip-flop to the front and save the mount. Otherwise it would just destroy the whole mount, hitting at that great speed. So what we have to do here, we lost this bolt here. I'm going to put this brand new carriage bolt in. It's the right size, and I'm going to thread lock it and put it back together so we're ready to go in the next snowfall. All right, well, here's we go. Now you have to, in order to get this bolt back in, which you had to find 1.1 inches, we have to force this thing up somehow. Actually, pretty much lined up. So let's see if this can go in. Wouldn't it be something if it just fit like that? Isn't that great? Sure, it is great. Now I'm going to add some thread locker blue. Blue is where you can actually remove it, and I might have to remove it at a future point in time. So I'm going to actually coat this here with blue on the threads, and this will, because this thing hits rocks, this is actually a very good thing to do. So we just coated that. Is that once you go over rocks, this thing vibrates like crazy. The thread lock will actually keep it in place. Should just put a little bit more up on these threads there. Yeah, just to make sure, and that way we'll know what's going on. That takes a little bit. It's pretty liquidy to start, but it'll keep it from vibrating loose, which is bound to happen because this thing is subject to a lot of abuse. All right, let's tighten this up. Of course, with the cost of everything these days, these bolts are really expensive. That would be Cody that's barking at the cats. And we don't want this too tight. It's got to move. Okay, so we're going to leave it like that. The thread lock should help to keep it in place. We should be good. We'll just have to watch it as it goes down the road. And we are ready once again. This is what the fuss is all about. Going after the cat. What do you see, Polar? Okay, we're gonna try something different. I'm actually gonna cut this off and melt it. All right. So now should be able to heat that up and put that in there. I'll show you a little bit what I'm doing. There we go. Let's see, hopefully that works. Just have to hold it in there until it cools off. It gets hard. All right, hopefully that works. All right, let me just show you a little bit about this tractor. As I mentioned before, what I was trying to do, actually let me take you back over here. This was my backhoe that I used on the first year we were up here, and it did a pretty good job. I had chains on front and back that year, but here is the problem. Not sure if you can see in here, but my fender clearance on this tractor is not, the clearance between the tire and the frame is not very good. And what that caused is it's very hard to put chains on without putting spacers. So in order to actually have to put this weight to work, because the tractor is this backhoe is very strong and it works really well, you have to have chains front and back. And believe it or not, the chains on front actually do a really good job of most of it. But when you're out on the ridge, you need to have chains on the back in order for you to bucket snow. And that's what we were doing. Was we were just, you know, a 6 foot wide path. I think it's probably a little bit wider than 6 foot, maybe 7, on the bucket. You go down the road, and you could only push so much because it would start folding over the sides and over the top, and then you're getting into the deep stuff and you're bucketing things left and right. So we started to look for a very long time to find out what the best snowplow machine would be, and came across this in Idaho, central Idaho, and it's got about 12,000 hours on it. It was previously it's about a 2012 13 model year, could be 2014, I don't remember right now. And it was used to actually load the well, it was used in a garbage dump to actually load up compost. That's what it was, compost. And so it really didn't get a lot of abuse because it was it has a, by the way, a 4.5 yard bucket over there, and it's got the quick tack on it, which I absolutely love. That quick tack does a great job. You can see the cylinder down here. That's the cylinder, if you can see that. And you just basically pull up to the implement, you hit the button in the cab, the hydraulic cylinder opens, which releases these pins, and you are detached, and then you can attach to any other implement. You just have to line yourself up, which is sometimes hard to see from the cab, and then you lift it up and then hit the engage button, and you're good to go. So you can see that on this tractor here, we're running full chains front. These are actually skidder chains, very nice chains, and they are a pain, very heavy. They're probably 200 and some pounds to put on. The back chains actually are little lighter duty, not skidder chains, but they actually do a really good job. And this thing does not slip in the wintertime at all. So you need that when you're out on the road. By the way, this has a beautiful John Deere 6-cylinder engine, and it's very powerful. I forget the horsepower right now, but I really appreciate this tractor, and it's exactly the machine with the snowplow that we need to get the job done. I will just say one other thing though, is that the snowplow, because it's foldable, is not a carving blade. What I mean by that is that there's by the way, we can turn left and right on this, and we can have complete angle of attack, control, because of the mount and the actual payloader design. So we can actually infinitely adjust it when we're out on the road. What I really like about this machine is that you can blade. I believe this is a 12-foot snowplow blade on here, but it doesn't carve. So what I mean by that is that you get too deep. Maybe 2 feet is probably the max that you should ever blade with this, and less. If you get bigger than that, you're gonna have to do multiple passes, and if it's wet and sticky, it gets worse. So sometimes when the wind starts happening, we actually have to go to this bucket over here, and this bucket is quite substantial. It's 4.5 yards, and that's what we use to actually get ourselves out of trouble. When I have to go through and it's drifted in, sometimes 5-10 feet high, we start bucketing, and that's what does a really nice job on this tractor. All right, well, we'll talk more about that later, but that's my setup right now, and that's what we use to keep 6 miles of unmaintained road intact. Does a really nice job, and I'm very blessed to have something as nice as this. Talk to you later.